Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. And boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. The trash fish versus the big fish. That is exactly how they're making this out to be. The trash fish, Terence Crawford. The big fish, Errol Spence. I guess I probably should have put a face on there, huh? Along with the trash fish photo and the big fish photo. So let me do that right now. Y'all can see how the magic works. Because, man, it is horrible that Terence Crawford, because he's not signed with anyone, they are just basically trying to keep this man in the breeze because they can't benefit from him. You know what I'm saying? And because they can't benefit from him, they don't want him to benefit at all. Isn't that some bullshit? There you go. So we just put that photo on there. Isn't that crazy? Now, if he decides to work with somebody, they're going to make sure that, but they want him to sign, right? Then they're going to make sure that there's he gets a fight and he's active. But do y'all remember what Terence Crawford said? I'm about to read you what he said. See, some people forgot this, man. This could be what's causing some problems for him. All right, there we go. So now let me do this so you can see what I'm talking about. Boom, boom, boom. Watch this. Boom. Yep, just that one. Okay, it's the wrong one here. Image 3. Let's change this real quick to this right here. There we go. Now we're in business. Crawford and Spence. But Crawford came out and he said something. He ended up sending a very strong message. You remember when he fought Errol Spence, man? Let me see if I can pull this up for you. I'll just so you can see it with me. But it was a massive moment of him getting there, clipping Errol Spence, being able to unify the division. And everybody was paying attention because, for over 4 years, man, they weren't able to make the damn Spence and Crawford fight, right? PBC and Top Rank. And there were always some kind of stumbling blocks when it comes to negotiations and things that prevented the fight from happening. But it happened, when Crawford became a free agent in 2021. But when he became a free agent, everybody, for the most part, felt, okay, here we go. Crawford's a free agent. You would think everybody would want to work with him, but that's not how it worked. That's really not how things happened for him. He kind of ran into some closed doors. And Top Rank had a lot to do with Terence Crawford suffering for a little bit, but Crawford stuck to his guns. My man started talking about God. He got spiritual on us, didn't he? When he saw he may not get any fights. But anyway, he ended up hooking up over there. The guys at PBC, Errol Spence got the fight, did his thing. But he said something. This is what he said. And I think this right here is something that could come back to bite him. Or it's probably biting his ass right now. He said, they tried to blackball me. They kept me out. They kept me out. They talked bad about me. They said I wasn't good enough. That I couldn't beat these top welterweights. And I just kept my head high to the sky. And I kept praying to God that I would get the opportunity to show the world who Terence Crawford is. Now, when Terence Crawford... let's try to understand what he's saying here, right? They tried to blackball me. Okay, who's they? All right, now if you ask me, I'm going to tell you, I think they, it's a little bit of everybody. Secret Society, Top Rank, PBC, Matchroom, anyone involved in matchmaking, anybody behind the scenes, key decision makers. I truly believe that. Now, anyone out there who says, nah, Hood, man, nobody tried to blackball Crawford. Crawford blackballed himself. And to that I say, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. They did try to blackball that man. But I'll tell you this. If Bob Arum would have said that Terence Crawford was not only a great fighter, that if he would have just said, doing business with him, we didn't hit our profit margins, but we didn't take a loss. If he would have said something like that, there were times where we projected to make maybe a certain amount of money on the fight, and you know what? We just didn't make it. But we still, the event would be still considered a success. I think Terence Crawford would have been all right. But that's not what Bob said. You know, Bob came out there talking about how he was hemorrhaging money. He could have bought a house in Calabasas. He lost millions on Crawford. And I already did a video. One of the first videos I did when I started this channel is where I broke down what Bob Arum could have meant. And I truly believe that is one of the reasons why Crawford came out and he said they tried to blackball me. It all goes back to that statement. Because when Bob made that statement, everybody was like, shit, I ain't messing with Terence Crawford, no matter how great of a fighter he is. He said they kept me out, And he's talking about just trying to get fights with the PBC fighters. You know, a lot of those guys, they would have fought him, but the kind of money they wanted. You know, so they knew they weren't going to get that kind of money, especially with Bob Arum at the time. They talked bad about me. You know, everybody had things to say about him. And social media is one of the worst places. You know, I mean, Twitter is I call it toxic Twitter. You know, people call it X. That shit's still Twitter to me. They say horrible stuff about this man. Horrible. I'm not even going to repeat it. Somebody couldn't beat the top welterweights because people felt that he was cherry picking or wasn't fighting real competitions. Anyway, he goes ahead and he clips Spence, so it is what it is. He says he believed tonight he showed how great he was. But the fact that Crawford is still kind of in the breeze looks like he's always had or maintained his rapport with somebody out there in Saudi. I personally think it's that guy, man. He was fighting like kickboxing. Abdallah. Something Abdallah. I can't remember his name. I don't feel like looking it up. But I think that's where the connection is. But nonetheless, obviously Crawford, because of one, is he still has a connection out there to somebody in Saudi. But also because of what he's accomplished. As a result, you know, these promoters who don't want to work with him because they feel like, hey, he's not signed to us, we can't benefit. Why would we want to work a great deal for somebody? Well, we're not benefiting. You know what I'm saying? He's his own man. He's doing things by himself. He's basically showing these other fighters that they don't need us. So why would we help somebody who's trying to show fighters that they don't need us? So there's no way in the world they're going to try to help Terence Crawford. But he got Turkey al-Sheikh in his hip pocket now. And Turkey al-Sheikh, let me tell you something. He's going to get a fight for Terence Crawford. He's going to probably do it in the States, probably be in Nebraska. And Terence Crawford is going to get the al-Sheikh money while fighting at home. And he's going to get a big name opponent. Because once those guys are getting paid the money, the fight happens. Now, if somebody doesn't fight him and the money that they're getting is like 10 times more than what they ever made, and that just lets you know that they found a packet of duck sauce and they're putting that shit on whatever they can get their hands on. They may not even have fried rice. They may just open a pack of duck sauce and just suck that shit back. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, Terence Crawford to these promoters is seen as a trash fish, especially by PBC, because they can't benefit from him. And then the big fish is the guy who they feel they can benefit from because he's actually on their roster. So Crawford will forever now, that bothered me, will forever be a trash fish unless he signs with one of these promoters. And as long as he understands that, the trash fish is the one that gets thrown back in the goddamn river, back in the stream, back in the ocean, back in the lake and pond. Okay? The big fish is the one people want to take home and mount it as a trophy or eat it. That's the one that they want to bring home. And Crawford just has to, I think he understands that, but just keep that shit in the back of his head at all times because nobody trying to help that man out at all. You know what I'm saying? But obviously Crawford's managing to stay afloat somehow, some way, boy. And you know what? I think it's the right thing to do. It's not working out over here. People not wanting to work with him. You know what? Get that money behind you. People will start working for you. And if I was Terence Crawford, I wouldn't even care. You know, you want to have me fight over here in Nebraska, bring somebody from the UK to fight me, bring somebody from anywhere. That's what I do. I just fight at home. Stack up my dough, fight at home. You know they're gonna sell out every time. Get out there and tranquilize people. Nobody else really want to fight you. And the people who are out there who may want to fight you, that's moving down the ladder. Go on out there and do your thing. So they can keep calling him a trash fish all they want. They can keep supporting the big fish all they want. But when it comes to Terence Crawford, I definitely agree with what he said here about they tried to blackball him. Because if you look, that's what they're doing now. They try to keep me out. They're trying to keep him out now. They talk bad about him. They still do that. Said he wasn't good enough. By them saying Spence wasn't himself, they're saying Crawford, really don't know how good Crawford is because we don't know that wasn't the Spence. He can't beat these other top welterweights. But that's why he's ducking boots in us. He just kept his head to the sky, and now look, he got Turkey out of sheet looking to work with him, getting opportunities at 154 pounds. And I think he's going to continue to show how great he is. And I understand this. I'm not a Terence Crawford fan. I'm a boxing fan. But goddamn, I'm seeing what's going on with this man, and I'm like, this is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. I, like a lot of you, feel like, I would like to see him fight Jaron Ennis, but I mean, come on now. He should be out here trying. Although I think he should know he ain't Mayweather, but he should be out here trying to get the biggest fights. But, hey, I tell you what, Errol Spence ain't in no rush for that rematch. And he won't rematch him. And I think that's a smart move by Errol Spence. But we'll see what the future holds for Terence Crawford. But it looks like he's got the money behind him now, may have an opponent, and he could be fighting in Nebraska. The thing is for all that to get firmed up and then for us to get a date and get an announcement and then boom, get the party started. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.